Thank you for watching Scary Bear Attacks. If you like this episode, please remember to hit the like button and leave a comment or two, then subscribe and click on the bell to receive notifications of whenever we release new videos. Also, please remember to share them to your social media. Welcome back to Scary Bear Attacks. Today's episode takes us to the Catskill Mountains in east central New York State. The climate here is a warm summer, humid continental climate, which brings warm, humid summers and mild but very snowy winters. Catskill Park makes up the majority of what is considered the Catskills, with 700,000 acres of mountainous forests. Common trees here include balsam fir, 3 types of maple trees, a few oak species, and 3 types of birch trees. Along bodies of water you'll find several species of dogwood, willow, and alder bushes, as well as various berry bushes crowding the banks. They provide shade and shelter for white-tailed deer, squirrels, and wild turkeys. Predators prowl the shadows here and include bobcats, coyotes, cougars, and black bears. Nestled into this lush and bucolic environment is the resort town of Fallsburg. Dotted with bungalow and cabin developments, it is a preferred location for mountain biking, waterfront recreation, and getting away from the big city. Black bears are common visitors around the town, with the local police department receiving dozens of calls weekly from concerned citizens. In August, a black bear even leapt through a screen door after smelling the tempting scent of chocolate chip cookies the homeowner was cooking. They raid bird feeders and garbage cans, but most always disappear into the forest at the first sight of a human. Almost always. The Schwimmer family was visiting a bungalow in Fallsburg for the summer and lived in Williamsburg in Brooklyn. They were prominent members of the ultra-orthodox Jewish community and known as wonderful and exceptional people there. There is no source indicating that the Schwimmers were packing bear spray or a firearm along with them on their vacation. Around 2 p.m. on August 19, 2002, Rachel was with her 2 older children, 4-year-old Joseph and 2.5-year-old Chaya, while 5-month-old Esther slept in her stroller on the porch a few yards away. Pincus was the proud father of the family and was busy taking care of a few things inside the house when a terrifying shout pierced his ears and changed his life forever. "Bear! Bear! Bear!" shouted one of the Schwimmers' neighbors. Rachel quickly glanced around and directed Joseph and Chaya into the house. She was in too much of a hurry to know that she was being followed very closely by a dangerous visitor. Rachel managed to get Joseph and Chaya inside before turning around to dash back to the porch to retrieve Esther within a few seconds. Upon returning to the porch, Rachel could see Esther's stroller had been tipped over, but Esther was nowhere to be found. While searching for her daughter, Rachel observed a black bear slowly walking away, with Esther dangling from its mouth like a little doll. That's when the rest of the community began to get involved in a big way. A small crowd of neighbors mustered the bravery to confront the black bear. They yelled and threw sticks and stones at the bear, trying to scare it into dropping baby Esther from its jaws. Pincus ran to cut the bear off from its intended retreat into the forest. He angled his way between the bear and the trees, and received a few claw wounds for his efforts. Trailing the bear, the angry and raucous mob continued to yell and throw things at it, until, in an open field midway between the woods and her family's cabin, baby Esther was recovered by her father. Now completely bewildered, the bear scampered up a tree for safety. Baby Esther was gathered up in the arms of her father and brought back to the cabin. A hysterical crowd of neighbors wept and lamented at the sight of baby Esther and her wounds. An ambulance showed up soon after a 911 call was placed. Esther was rushed to Ellenville Hospital, where she was pronounced dead by 3 p.m. from severe neck and head trauma. In keeping with traditions of their faith, a hurried funeral service was arranged in Orange County to bury Esther by sundown on the day of her death. This is the first bear attack many had heard of in decades-long careers. Officer David Decker searched the forest for a clue to the bear's location and discovered it in the trees. The bear wasn't afraid of his approach, but soon dashed back up a nearby tree. Decker stated he fired a single shot into the bear's rib cage, but the necropsy reported the bear's carcass having been shot 4 times, one of which was in the head. The community was overcome with sorrow, as the news of Esther's death permeated their hearts. Many packed up and left upon hearing the tragic news. Only 30 minutes after her attack, police reported a second sighting of a bear, but it couldn't be found by police who were already in the area. The necropsy on the black bear showed it to be a 3-year-old male weighing around 170 pounds. Testing for rabies and West Nile virus were negative, eliminating disease as a contributing factor to Esther's attack. The bear's stomach contents were analyzed and revealed small plastic bags and fruit labels mixed in with natural food sources, proving the bear had been raiding area garbage cans. Wildlife specialists initially claimed the bear may have grabbed the baby out of curiosity, more than out of predatory motives. They cited the idea that babies have scented powders and milk on their bodies and clothes. Additionally, they proposed the baby may have had some kind of attractant in her diaper. They tried to allay residents' fears of a repeat attack, but those same warnings would have been expected for Esther's attack. Esther Schwimmer was only the second person to have been killed by a black bear in any eastern U.S. forest in recorded history, and the first of this century. Esther was the 15th person killed by a black bear in the U.S. in 100 years. Wow, this episode tore me up. Having lost 2 children of my own, I can identify with the pain of Esther's parents and family. I'm sure they still think of her and remember her fondly. After reviewing the facts surrounding the fatal bear attack on Esther Schwimmer, I'm left with a few questions for you. Was the second bear that appeared on the scene the initial bear's littermate? Were they searching for food together and stumbled into this tragedy? Was this bear brought in by the scent of milk on the baby's clothes, or was this attack an opportunistic predatory attack? I will gladly read and reply to your thoughts, so please post them in the comments section below, and let's talk about it. Thank you for watching Scary Bear Attacks. If you've enjoyed this episode, please consider clicking on the like button and clicking on the bell icon. We'll help you know when we post our new episodes. Posting our video links to your social media profiles furthers awareness, and it's fun. We slashed our prices in our merch store, linked below, so check out the bargains there while you shop. As a member of our human community, remember to adventure bravely and be careful out there, especially in bear country.